On today's show, we hit a couple of news stories, and then our main topic is going to Disney on a budget. That is up next on Traveling with the Mouse. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 425. Is that right?
Yep.
I think I have that right. Of Traveling with the Mouse, and I am your host for this week. My name is John, and I am joined by Adam.
What's up, everybody?
How's it going, Adam?
Wonderful.
I tell you, I had a tough time watching our Braves fall once again to the Philadelphia Phillies.
Boo. Yeah.
I was frequently reminded of a long time ago when Pedro Martinez had that press conference when he talked about the Yankees being his daddy. Kind of how I feel about the Phillies right now. Phillies are the Braves' daddy.
Yeah. Best record in baseball goes out that quickly. Oh, well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just them. I mean, there was like the top 5 best records were out in the first round.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
It just goes to show that it all resets in the playoffs. Doesn't really matter.
It's a game.
162 games doesn't really matter.
It's a game of rhythm, too, and I think those first-round buys are really hurting. I hope they change that in the near future, but we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway.
Not the same. But off of baseball, let's get back to Walt Disney World. That's the whole purpose we're here, right?
Yeah, always. Every week. Roaming droids are in Galaxy's Edge. Or for one day.
For one day only.
The promise that we got back in 2019.
Pretty much.
For every day. Happened.
Only 4 days. I mean, 4 years.
4 years later for one day.
Yeah, I got those mixed up. Only 4 years later for one day. What is a BD unit? It says
a big droid. But it's actually little.
Theme to a BD unit explorer droid. I don't think I'm familiar with those. Have I seen these somewhere before in Star Wars universe? I know there's some Star Wars fans out there that's probably like screaming.
Do you think these droids run on BDE?
I have no idea.
It's a type of energy, right?
I've heard. Okay.
Never mind.
Strike that. Reverse it.
Just saying.
It says here that the droids have impeccable balance, and they represent a new approach to robotic characters. So, bipedal robotic character with the balance. And while I was in the middle of reading the story, it looks like went haywire.
Droids.
Probably.
This R2 unit has a bad motivator.
At least. Okay. Impeccable balance. Imagineering says designing a bipedal robotic character with the balance and abilities of these robots is impressive, but that they took it a step further by combining procedural animation, modular hardware, and reinforcement learning to program a walking character capable of complex gaits such as a strut, prance, sneak, tromp, shuffle, hustle, saunter, or meander. So apparently they can move at different speeds. Is that what you think of? Those would have been easy to make. Those are pretty much just remote controlled cars.
You just get a toaster and glue some RC car underneath.
Exactly.
That's all you gotta do.
So,
I think a gonk droid, you could just put like someone in a thing and just have it slowly walk.
These look, relatively impressive. I mean, I guess it's a start, right? I mean, it just took longer to develop than they originally thought. So, they truly do have intentions of trying to make this work.
Yeah, and right. It looks like they're continuing to try because it looked like in the original concept art or some of the early concept art, they had R2 units and some of those, I forgot what they're called, but some other type of like droid on wheels that would roam the land. So at least this is something.
I was hoping for 3PO roaming the land.
I mean, all you gotta do is put a guy in a
Yeah, but see, that's not the same thing.
Protocol droid suit.
That's not the same thing. We need an actual protocol droid.
Yeah.
Why not? It could happen. So park hours have been extended at Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, through early November, including midnight Magic Kingdom hours, which is not typical for this time of year. I wouldn't think. I don't
non-party nights.
Yeah, I don't recall it being
not typically. Yeah, because there's so many parties every week that they stay open late for.
So here's just a quick rundown of the changes. Magic Kingdom, October 14th, 16th, 21st, which some of these dates have already passed at this point. Park hours extended 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., which was previously 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., so it was an extra hour in the morning. 22nd, 24th, 27th, 29th, and 31st, also another hour in the morning. The original was 9 a.m. It went to 8 a.m., still to 6 p.m. on those days. 23rd in particular, park hours were extended an hour in the evening to 11 p.m. from 10 p.m. Mm-hmm. November 1st, another hour added in the morning. 2nd and 4th, another hour added in the evening. And on the 3rd, it was extended to 12 a.m. And it was on November 3rd, park hours have been extended from 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. So that one has been extended 3 hours. That was previously 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., which that's kind of unusual for them to extend them that long.
Yeah.
So Disney's Animal Kingdom, October 22nd through November 3rd, the park hours have been extended from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Previously, it was 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., so it's 1 hour in the morning. And November the 4th, park hours extended 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., which adds 2 hours, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, because it was previously 9 to 7. This is unusual because I don't know about this weekend, what's so special about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. It's before Veterans Day weekend.
Right, it's the weekend before.
It's post-Halloween party, pre-Christmas.
So is this kind of like just something they're doing in between parties?
Or maybe it's the anticipation. It's the first weekend of Christmas decorations. I don't know. I don't know why it's so busy.
But I mean, let's see. Will that be that'll be that Sunday that the clocks move back to standard time. So maybe that's right before standard time there. What they're doing, I don't understand the reason. I mean, no, because it's already getting dark at like 7:30 or whatever here.
I don't get it.
Anyway, we're going to try to make this quick because we have another topic to do.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Well, the 100th anniversary was this past week on the 16th. The official 1923, October 16th. So 2023, 100 years later, we got that kind of cool video, I guess, that they put out. Did you cry when Mickey nodded at Walt there and took his...
I haven't seen it, actually.
What?
Sorry. I've been busy.
There's a part where Mickey looked at a painting of Walt and started to tear up or whatever. Gave him a nod.
Yeah, I did see Iger's tweet. Don't remember exactly what it was, but it sounded very...
corporate fluff.
Iger-ish.
Mm-hmm. They're typical.
Which is funny because, once upon a time, it's weird. It's like he would have come off at least partially genuine, but now I don't know what it is. He doesn't come off genuine at all. Whether he is or not, he just doesn't come off that way. Now, can't explain it.
Yeah.
Looks like they decided to add the Journey of Water to the map officially, right?
Yeah,
it's got its own little place on there.
Tiny little corner of the construction pit.
Something like that. Which is about what it looks like in real life, right?
Yeah.
So.
Hey, what's team?
Oh, here's the post. Actually, here's the post I was talking about from Bob Iger, by the way. A century ago today, Walt Disney and his brother Roy officially founded the Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio, changing entertainment forever. To all who have imagined with us, laughed with us, and dreamed with us throughout the generations since, thank you.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. The Disney company is your company.
No, not really. I'm not on the board.
You sold all your stock.
Yeah. I don't have Disney stock currently. I pulled an Adam the Woo, I guess. Except in his case, he was trying to do it without losing too much.
I mean, I don't know why. Anyway, just hold on to it. Whatever. What is this thing about Jollywood Nights?
The thing is, it made it look like there was going to be... Oh, the first one that I saw, anyway, made it look like there was going to be, like, something at the top of the Tower of Terror, right? Have you seen that one?
I did.
Because the story, this is how the headline that I see reads about it says, new info released for the Tower of Terror Twilight Soiree Tip Top Club and Brown Derby Jazzy Holidays.
I like that.
So, you like the idea of the Brown Derby Jazzy Holidays?
I do.
Is this something that's happened before and I just don't remember it?
No.
I don't think it has.
Not.
So apparently the Tower of Terror one is actually located in the courtyard, so don't get your hopes up about something happening at the very top of the tower.
Yeah.
With the name Tip Top Club. But it says it'll be a swinging good time. They'll have live band, holiday tunes, sip on fancy cocktails. So they do list some of those.
Yeah.
The Fifth Dimension Royale, the Twilight Daiquiri, sparkling pomegranate apple cider, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So the Jazzy Holidays at the Hollywood Brown Derby. Why did that one sound more appealing to you? Just
because I like the Brown Derby and I like jazz.
And you like cocktails.
Yes. All the above.
All of the above.
Jingle Bell Jingle Bam is back.
Yes. It's always been a good one. You know, Hollywood Studios has become almost like as heavily decorated as Magic Kingdom, seems like, event-wise and everything for Christmas time.
Because they take that different approach to the Christmas decorations. Like the Echo Lake has those vintage Santa and reindeer lights and stuff. I like the way they do it.
Yeah, the Christmas time is the time of year in Walt Disney World we're going to see all the parks are going to have at least a touch. Well, more than a touch, more so than Halloween does. Although I think, has Halloween spilled over into any other park besides Magic Kingdom yet? I don't think it really has. Not on the East Coast anyway.
They have little things, like there's a pumpkin thing in Epcot, a pumpkin search, which our kids did.
Don't you think it'd be pretty cool, though, if they had something at Hollywood Studios, especially with the Tower of Terror being there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a projection show or something.
Or
for Halloween on Tower of Terror.
Yeah. Anything spookiness. Or you could convert Toy Story Land into what was that one special they did that was Toy Story Nightmare?
Yeah, they had a Halloween special.
Add those elements to it, yeah. I don't know.
Wasn't it simply just called Toy Story Halloween Horror or something like that?
I forgot that. It was a decent special.
Oh yeah, the shorts on those early on anyway, especially were good.
The Christmas one was okay.
Probably one of my favorites, the one we laugh at almost anytime I see it, is Party Source Rex, though.
Man.
That one. You don't see that one? You never seen that one?
I don't think so.
The one where he ends up, he like messes up something, they end up calling him Party Pooper Rex, but he ends up with the bath toys, and he,
I remember that one.
Starts having a good time, and you should see
that.
Is that
a short or one of those TV special ones?
It's one of the shorts.
So it wasn't a 30-minute like TV thing.
No. It's definitely a short.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. I need to see it.
How do you not know that one? They even featured Partysaurus Rex because of that short in Typhoon Lagoon.
Oh,
for the.
All right, let's watch that. My bad.
I can't believe you don't know this.
Oh, come on.
So,
price. I was just gonna say really quick, the Jollywood thing. The prices are basically like buying a Christmas party ticket. Oh, they're a little bit cheaper though.
What?
Yeah, it's the closer you get to Christmas, it's $169. So it's cheaper than a Christmas party if you're
But this is for a localized event, not an entire park.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah.
Not surprising. Not all surprising at all.
They're just trying to cash in on the first two have sold out, so.
Right.
So
I was going to say is Pocahontas and Miko meet and greets moved to Oasis during morning hours at Animal Kingdom.
Really?
So where were they before?
They were in this tiny corner over by Flame Tree Barbecue, weren't they? Or is that where Moana was? Never mind. I thought Pocahontas was over there. She was at one point.
Well, I mean, they used to, like I said, they used to be over in what is now called Pandora. But
no, is that Pocahontas or is that See, Moana has to move, though, because she's at Epcot now, right? Or are they going to keep them at Animal Kingdom and Epcot? I don't know.
Well, it says right here that says Pocahontas used to meet with guests at the character landing on Discovery Island, but Moana is currently using that location.
Okay.
So I guess she's still there.
Yeah.
So
when we were there last week, it was that, like, hidden thing, like, across from Flame Tree Barbecue. There was, like, a hidden trail that I thought it was Moana, now that I think about it. But anyway.
Well, she might not be a permanent addition to the Oasis, Pocahontas, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not been added to the MDE so far. So it could be subject to change. Looks like currently you should be able to see her from 9 to 12. So if you want to see Pocahontas and Miko.
I saw the thing that...
I mean, Miko, excuse me.
Goofy's back at Dino Land now, whatever. They're adding more and more meet and greets, which I guess is good because it eats a little bit of crowd.
Well, the meet and greets in Dino Land, I mean, are they just trying to cover up the big hole over there? Nothing to see here.
Right. That's all they're doing. I mean, you can't really cover it up because of the giant fence it's an obvious something's missing from that area. But
yeah.
Oof, what a rough area that is right now.
The end.
Man, in Dinosaur, nothing works. We did Dinosaur last week, and what was not working? The dinosaur eating the other one, of course, wasn't working. There was something else, too. There was a couple other effects that weren't really working, but it was working a little bit better than back in early summer when we went. Well, not much better.
Yeah, it was pretty bad in the summer, I know.
Yeah.
During the time period that I was there.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to do it because I didn't know how many more times I was going to be able to do it, truthfully. I don't know when they plan on closing it at this point. They haven't really announced anything.
Yeah.
Plus, it was one of the ones that I knew that Livy was going to be tall enough for, so.
Right.
And she's always liked dinosaurs, so.
Yep.
That was another reason to go on it, but I don't think she necessarily enjoyed that too much. I think it might have still been a tad bit too intense for a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Or a not even 5-year-old, actually, at that point. She was going to be 5 in a little over a month.
Yeah. Hoping they don't just do an exact clone of Indy, but they will.
I'm going to say that's the only reason to do it that way. I mean, because the track's the same already,
right?
So.
Boo.
I mean, they might try to make some difference to the surroundings, but it's going to be the same track for sure.
Right. Why would they change the track if it's already there?
Right. Exactly. I mean, then why? We already know they're mirror images.
Yeah.
So
anyway, right on.
Of one another. So I don't know. I don't really see very much that I want to discuss news-wise.
Yeah,
Do you? We need to. Since we got a little late start tonight, we need to jump into our main topic of the evening.
Let's do it.
Which is going to be probably something a lot of people out there are talking about nowadays, especially with the economy where it is.
Price hikes.
And the price hikes at Disney itself.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's tough no matter who you are, really.
Yeah.
Inflation has reached a point where you're feeling the strain. I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
It's noticeable. Go to the grocery store, it's quite noticeable.
Exactly. Yes, very noticeable with everything.
Yeah.
Although Disney's food
Yeah.
has been pretty, it's pretty much like, it's pretty much normal now, I guess, for some
Yeah, I
things.
mean, honestly,
Except all they did was downsize the portions, right?
like I said, over the summer, I went to San Diego Zoo, and the prices were so much higher than Disney's for food and beverage.
Right.
Six Flags.
It's like once they got you in there.
Six Flags is higher than Disney. And
for not as good a food.
Yeah. And that's so, you know, what else is
not as good a service most of the time.
Tell me about it. Yeah, once I've done other places, I'm like, you know, $12.99 for a burger and fries is not that bad. You know,
yeah.
At like Cosmic Rays or something. It's not terrible when you're paying like $17.99 at Six Flags or something, or San Diego Zoo. It was it's like $18 for a beer when you can get it at Disney for $12.50 now or whatever it is.
Well, you used to cut. What was that we just saw?
Yes.
What did they do at what did they do at
they went from 22 to 20, and then they raised the price like a quarter or something. Forgot what it was. It used to be like $11.50 for a 22 ounce, and now it's $12.50 or something like that, or $12.75 maybe for a 20. So
they raised it basically $1 and took away 2 ounces. Yeah,
whiskey
sounds about right.
Whiskey. Yeah, I don't know why, but they did.
Well, one thing about a Disney vacation is that it's going to be expensive to some degree.
Yeah,
no matter what you do.
Yeah.
For example, a family of 4, depending on what you do, it's probably going to cost you anywhere from about $4,500, anywhere upwards of $10,000. I mean, let's just be honest. It can.
Oh, easily, yeah. Can easily get carried away.
Sometimes with these things, it's just like a gambler does. They don't really want to talk about They don't want to get the exact number. They don't want to count everything. They just want to count the fact that I got the whole package for like $5,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
Not counting the $2,000 to $3,000 you spent otherwise.
Yeah.
Once you're there.
Right.
You know. So we just kind of wanted to go through and talk about ways to hopefully cut the cost down for you without taking away from the overall experience too much. I mean, there's going to be, if you're truly going to do a budget, there's going to be some things that you have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And I think right off the bat, until next January 9th, one of the easiest ways to not spend as much is don't buy park hoppers. We talked about that before. Park hoppers are way more expensive, and they aren't worth it currently because of the restriction on it.
Right.
But they could be worth it after January 9th if you want to squeeze in like 2 parks in a day and cut your overall trip to like 3 days at Disney or something.
Well, let's just go with right about right now. The starting price for a standard park ticket is $109, somewhere around that range, $110.
Depends on the park, doesn't it? Because Magic Kingdom, I don't think
it does depend on the park. Right. It does depend on the park, but I'm just trying to get
for Animal Kingdom, maybe. Yeah.
You can't get a starting point because as they fluctuate the ticket price so much now, it's just it's hard to keep track of.
So there's another tip: don't go on weekends. Don't go on holidays. Don't go during go in the middle of the week on September or May or something, or July. I don't know.
So, well, let's just go. We're going to try and do a comparison here on tickets. And I'm going to try to do it at a time when I think it's going to be lower. So let's just say we're going to do 4 days. And it's going to be difficult to see because I see the price tickets are different. Because I see 137 plus, 138 plus. So we're already above the 109 we talked about in the upcoming days. Since we're going to do upcoming, I'm going to do November
Okay.
And I'm going to do the beginning of it. We'll do that. We'll say Wednesday is the 1st. Wednesday the 1st is the start of it. So we have a range going anywhere from Wednesday the 1st through Tuesday the 7th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is what this is going to be good for. So if I did one park per day, it's $549 per ticket. Park hopper is $639.44 per ticket. So park hopper is $90 more. So here's the question you really got to ask yourself. And then the park hopper plus is actually going to be $110 more for a ticket.
The more days you go, the lower the overall price is.
Right.
Per day, I should say.
Well, I said 4 because that's going to give you enough time to spend to start at all 4 parks. That's my main motivation. So we're saying that's the minimum amount. But the thing when we were talking about, one of the best ways is to just do the 1 park per day. As you can see right there, per ticket, gonna add $90 per ticket. If you're a family of 4, I mean that's already, what is that, 3?
You could get Genie Plus every day for that, just about, roughly, depending on the day in the park.
Yeah, $360, by the way. I think that's another $360.
Yeah. I think right now you'd be better off paying that money for Genie versus park hopper.
If you're going to use that, yeah. That's the other thing.
If you're going to pay that, I would rather not do the park hopping and buy Genie.
So I'd say park hopping, there was once upon a time where the price difference between it seemed like a little more of a true value. I don't really see that as that much of a value now because, okay, first of all, in Walt Disney World, if you're going to park hop, even if you're driving your own vehicle, that's going to be your shortest time period. It's still a significant chunk of time going from one to the next because of how far apart they are.
Unless you're doing a challenge run.
Especially Magic Kingdom. Well, even in that, it's going to take you a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But that's going to be your quickest option, yes. But it's still going to take a chunk of time, right?
Yeah.
So if you're doing a challenge run, you're trying to do it the fastest possible anyway. And, you know, you're going to probably risk any potential speeding tickets or whatever.
Right. But if you're park hopping on Disney's transportation, it's going to take an hour to get from one to another minimum.
That's the other thing. I remember one time, it's been years ago, I heard a guy, he was making a comparison between Walt Disney World and Disneyland.
Okay.
And he was talking about how, and this was his perspective, he's talking about how, like, you spend all your time here traveling. Because I would imagine someone who's in California or who goes to Disneyland really does feel that way, because if they want to, they just walk across the way to get to the other park, right? And downtown Disney at the time, I guess it's still called that now, or out there it still is.
Yeah.
It was just a walk. You walked to everything.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, everything was walkable. And then he was like, you spend your time traveling out here, because he was using Walt Disney transportation, of course.
Yeah.
But you do spend a significant chunk of time traveling, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I would say the average family at best is only going to park up once in a day anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know, for me personally, that is worth the $90 per ticket.
Yeah.
What would you say?
No, it's not. I don't think so. Unless you go a lot. And we're talking about...
Well, if you go a lot, then get the AP.
Right. And if we're talking about budgeting, then I think you wouldn't be going often. So it's not worth it. Yeah.
And we will be right back.
Teaching her how to drive. But Dad, why not use Greenlight to help her save for her own car? Mowing lawns and getting paid. She'll go from washing your car to flexing with her own. How? With Greenlight, the money app for families. Together, you can navigate the world of earning, saving, and investing. Because when you teach her to be smart about money, she'll go far. Invest in your best investment. Sign up today at greenlight.com.
And now, back to the show.
So the next one, you just brought it up. You talked about spending money on Genie Plus. You know, so you're talking about basically better allocating money that if you're instead of buying the park hopping, allocate that money to Genie Plus. But at the same time, I would say, as on a budget, you're going to try to minimize the amount in which you actually use Genie Plus, in my opinion.
Yeah. It can be done.
They make it harder.
Yes.
Yeah, they make it harder. You're going to have to not mind waiting a little bit.
Yeah, you're going to wait for something a lot. And you got to maneuver a lot more, probably. But
there's only a handful of things you're not going to be able to get by without getting, obviously, a boarding group at least. That'd be Tron and Guardians at the moment.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only two. Without having to pay, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you can ride Tron, but you're going to be waiting. Tron is a long wait. Guardians moves pretty fast.
So at Magic Kingdom, if you plan on doing a lot or most everything, it's going to be hard to do without Genie Plus. So you would need to get it for sure.
Which is the most expensive.
Yes. I think a place you can definitely do without it is Epcot. Because if you get the boarding group for Guardians.
Kind of, yeah, you could.
And you rope drop either Test Track or Remy.
Yeah.
And you're going to spend a lot less time in line.
Yeah. It's which standby line do you want to tolerate after that?
Right.
Which would be Frozen is not a fun one, but you can do it.
Well, here's the other option you have at Epcot. Whichever ones that you manage to do earlier in the day, you also have an option of potentially doing the other one at the end of the night when the wait should be shorter too.
Yeah, so supposedly. You'll still wait a while. I mean, again, this is like, if you have small kids, staying all day is not going to be fun. So you got to think about that.
I would also say, for someone going on a budget, that Disney World is so big and so expensive that you're probably not going to see everything in one trip anyway.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure.
I would say not and have a good time.
Yeah.
Not with the whole family anyway.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do, if you're doing a challenge, you'll have a good time for the challenge part of it. But if you're going on a family vacation, you're not going to have a good time if you try to do everything.
You're going to drag kids to and from stuff, and they're going to be mad, and they want to do this, and
right.
Well, we have to hurry up and get to that, and
See, I've made the mistake of trying to view the park as trying to do all of the rides a lot of times.
Right.
And when really I should be like cherry picking, I should be selective of which attractions we're going to enjoy the most, right?
Yeah.
And go that way.
Right.
But I have a tendency to want to lean toward trying to do it all.
I think everybody does because FOMO. There's this FOMO if you don't go often.
Yeah.
It happens.
I really think you're going to have a better time overall, though, if you're selective with your choices. Now, of course, we've done everything there at least once, so it's different, right? Someone like us, we already know what our favorites are. We already know what we consider our must-dos. Some of them would not be ones other people consider must-dos, and especially ones that aren't hard to get on, like, say, Living with the Land. That's usually a favorite among this group.
Yeah. I think that's the thing is know your backups. Like you want to do the favorites, but then pivot to the backup ones in the middle of the day when the lines are the longest for everything and say, okay, it's time to do the land, or it's time to take a break, or it's time to eat a long lunch, or let's go do Figment, or let's go do
Journey of Water,
Country Bear Jamboree, or something like that in the middle of Journey of Water, or, something that'll kill some time, let the lines die down, and you don't have to, you don't physically have to wait as long either.
And another thing that used to be, it's kind of harder now with the way they do their ticket pricing. You used to there was a certain time of year, it would be like a month that it would be generally the same. Now they almost do it by the day or the week or whatever. They change. So that makes it more difficult there. Usually the times of year when you're going to find some of the lowest priced tickets, though, or the slowest is early September, particularly, because once we get on into September, people are usually doing the parties and what have you. Even though they start those in August now.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, there's some summer months that, if you pick your moments right, they're not that busy.
Yeah.
As far as it goes.
Summer is pretty slow lately.
And they tend to have late hours.
Mm-hmm.
If you pick your moments right, there's just no one magic, like I can't say, oh, it's obviously going to be slow in this month, like the whole month. There's no whole month this slow anymore. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah. During the week, too, is better. I would say go during the week, avoid weekends.
That's another thing that's going to be cheaper if you're deciding to stay on property is the price per night is cheaper on Sunday through Thursday.
Yes.
That's if you're staying on property.
Yeah.
Now, I personally think if you're doing a budget, you're probably better off staying off property because in the Orlando area in particular,
Cheap.
there are
There's a lot of cheap hotels.
There's cheap, but there's also a lot of inexpensive things like Airbnbs that are very high quality. Then you get things like, for instance, this past June, I had one that was this wasn't even in a gated community, but it was in one of the neighborhoods right across 192.
Mm-hmm.
Although I did stay at one that was in a gated community too. But, if you get the right host in the right area, this was just basically a neighborhood. We had our own driveway to park in. It was like it was in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a private pool.
Yeah, that's helpful too.
That was a good pool. It's helpful, and then in some cases, the kids didn't want to get out of it, so we could go do other things.
Right.
So, kind of depends on what's going on. This one, the garage, of course, was converted to like a mini game room. So, there's always that. If you want to do, spend some time away from the park areas.
If you have a big group, Airbnb is probably the best budget-friendly.
Yeah, a big group especially, but really you don't even have to have a big group if you want space for less.
That's true, too.
Is kind of the thing. And if you want access to things like a washer and dryer for less, that's another good option. Or your own refrigerator where you can freeze your bottles of water and take them with you, which I did this last time. Works out really well, by the way, when it's warmer because it melts perfectly. The timing is perfect.
Sure. But I would say the value resorts give you that 30-minute early entry, which if you want to try and maximize that without buying Genie, it gives you that advantage. And honestly, the value, like All-Stars, has really grown on me, except for sports. Don't do sports.
Right.
But do music or movies, and I think it's great as long as you drive your own vehicle. And that's the other thing. Disney transport there is going to suck. But if you do your own car, or you rent a car, or Uber even, that's going to be fast getting to and from those resorts. And you can park for free still. Standard parking is free if you're driving your own vehicle at any of those.
If you're staying at a resort.
So that saves you $30 now a day for parking.
Right.
So,
and you don't have to pay to park at the resort anymore.
Yeah, that's another
there is that.
So that, and a lot of the other properties around Disney Springs, they charge for parking. Like the Hiltons, what's the other one? The DoubleTree charges for parking. There's several others, like the Disney Springs ones. They pretty much all charge for parking. Swan and Dolphin charges like $30 a day for parking. So
yeah, it's pretty rough.
It might get you a slightly lower price for like the location, but you're going to end up paying for it in fees and stuff later. So I think going value or Coronado outer building is going to be your best, and you won't pay for parking, and theme park parking is free. So you're saving money left and right there.
Yeah. I would say of the values, I feel like if I'm thinking of the term what I get for my money, right? The overall value.
Yeah.
I'm still going to say pop. And I say this because the majority of the buildings have rooms at least that are not far from the Skyliner itself at all. And you can take the Skyliner, of course, to 2 out of the 4 parks. So you have
Which
that.
is pretty good. Yeah. That's definitely helpful.
And so you have also the option of driving if you brought your own car or you rented a car. which also, since you're staying at a Disney resort, even if you drive, all you got to do is show them that you're staying at a resort and you don't get charged parking either, for now.
Right.
The downside is, if you're, let's just say, again, a family of 4, you're not going to have the space that you have for some other options. The pool is pretty good. I mean, it's not you have pool options. You're going to have, basically the same options as you have at the All-Stars, which Adam was just mentioning, as far as food type options. I would say the food there typically, or at least used to be, everything Pop and Shop, or what it's called, used to be pretty good. It's one of those food courts that's divided into categories, right? Like, here's where all your burgers and chicken are. Here's where your, like, seafood is. Here, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. It was divided. Kind of like Landscape of Flavors is somewhat. So, I had one of those.
So I'm looking at next summer prices. These are undiscounted currently for mid-July. So I would say it's a fairly slow week based on theme park pricing, whatever. Pop is at $223 a night. That's undiscounted, which isn't bad. And All-Stars is at $177. All 3 of them are $177.
Wow.
So rack rate.
Still, $223 undiscounted. I keep thinking, I was like, man, doesn't seem like it was that long ago I could get Caribbean Beach for that.
I know. But
anyway, go ahead.
It's about roughly $50 a night, $50 a night more for the Skyliner privilege than you would get for All-Stars. And it looks like Outer Building Coronado for that particular week is going to be $276. So it's a little higher. I've seen Coronado less than Pop, though, so I don't know why. It's a little higher still. So anyway, those are good options, though.
And since we're still on the lodging part of this discussion, I would say if you're wanting to stay in some more deluxe accommodations, we'll say, I would recommend going to a site to rent maybe Disney Vacation Club points, something like Dave's DVC. Once upon a time, you could probably go on some of the message boards and find owners that you could rent from. I honestly do not recommend doing that now, and the reason why is because now you run into so many people that are scamming and trying to take advantage and take your money. I would rather do it from a secure site like Dave's DVC or DVC Rentals. Yeah. It's going to cost you a little bit more than if you had tried to do it from one of the from the owner directly. Yeah. But at least you know who you're dealing with, and you can get insurance and what have you, all that good stuff if you want to.
Yeah.
But one thing that comes along with DVC accommodations that not necessarily everybody knows is if you want access to things like a washer and dryer, if you're staying in a DVC room or a DVC resort, that stuff is actually included. You do not have to pay extra for the laundry.
Right. But yeah, I would look at dedicated reservations.
Yeah, those are usually pretty
and
cheap
sometimes
overall,
you can
for what it is.
And you can even find last minute ones. Like I'm looking right now at the end of this current month that we're in, and there's some that are going for $13 a point rentals. So this is 6 nights at Saratoga for $2,700 in a 1-bedroom preferred.
I tell you, Saratoga is a deal.
Yeah.
Because you are going to get treated with the same deluxe amenities for a fraction less of some of the other resorts. And people look at that and they say, well, it's so far away. You're on Disney property, period. It's really not that far, especially if you have your own vehicle to drive. It's not as far as you think. And it's right across from Disney Springs, which is a good option.
You can even walk there.
Food.
It's a long walk, but you could do it.
Yeah.
It's that's $450 a night for a 1-bedroom preferred.
1 bedroom. That is unheard of on Disney
$450.
property.
That's insane. Yeah.
You can pay more than that for a regular studio at Poly.
Oh gosh,
pay almost
you would
twice
totally pay more.
You pay almost twice that for a regular studio at
$450
Poly.
is almost unheard of for a standard deluxe room anywhere.
And another good one that's deluxe that usually has some pretty good prices is Animal Kingdom Lodge. I really like the theming there. I think overall it's probably one of the better deals for deluxe. So I know that's a little bit off the budget topic, but this is kind of like getting the most for your money on those couple of things type deal.
Yep.
It's just options that we're talking about. Since we're still in lodging, just to hit on it right quick, there are some areas in the Disney Spring area that you can use to take advantage of still some of the Disney perks, like the early hours. Usually the Hiltons, right? Don't the Hiltons still participate in that?
But keep checking, because you never know if that'll change year by year.
That could change. Yeah, that could change. But I mean, that's another one where you can get, a little bit more deluxe accommodations for not as much.
Yeah,
right.
But again, watch for those fees. You're going to pay for parking. I think there's even a resort fee at Signia, Bonnet Creek. They just have we're just going to charge you like $40 a day for no reason on top of what you're already paying, just because it's a nice resort.
Right.
So,
and maybe if you're a part of something like Hilton Honors, that would probably be a better option for you.
Because you could use points if you've banked some, Swan Dolphin and Swan Reserve. You can use Marriott, Bonvoy points. But you have to have a lot to use there. You have to be
for it to make it worth your while.
You have to work travel 300 days a year to get a free night at Swan Reserve. But anyway, it happens.
So I would say too. Here's another, since we're talking budget, food, right?
For sure. Bring your own. Bring your own food.
I would say bring your own is going to be a good option for certain meals. If you want to partake in some of the food at Disney, though, some of the options are going to be better than others. And the thing that's hard to say about that is it changes, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to say which restaurant is going to be the best bang for your buck most of the time.
Yeah. I would just mobile order.
I personally, just off the top of my head, if you wanted to do a sit-down restaurant that has characters, that's going to be good for your wallet, my first thought is Garden Grill. Now, when I say good for your wallet, I mean it's probably less expensive than some of the other experiences, and you're going to get good character interaction, and it's going to be in a setting that's good, and it's good food.
Yeah.
So it's really more one of those things that's kind of like an overall, to me. Do you have a particular recommendation that off the top of your head for, say, a sit-down or a character one that would be better, or another option?
For sit-downs that are not super pricey, one that I like is Grand Floridian Cafe, actually. It's not that bad.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
it's not super expensive. It's in a good location.
That one's not character, but it's a good sit down.
It's one that I've done a lot, actually.
The characters come with a price.
Yeah, they definitely do.
That's the only reason why I was saying that. They do come with a price, so you want to make sure you make the right choice.
Yeah.
Other good ones, I think Chef Mickey is overhyped, personally, for the experience.
It's a little overpriced, too. And you're going to be...
Yeah, that's part of the overhyping. You're going
to be rushed out of there, too. Last time I was there, we've heard this from actual cast members. The goal is to get you in and out within an hour on those. Because they have so many people that they want to churn through, and you see all the characters. I remember last time I was at Chef Mickey's, we sat at our table, before we even got up to get food, I think Donald or somebody had come over. And we're just like, can we get our food real quick, Donald? Can you? But he's already boom, one after the other.
Yeah, one of the things I like about Garden Grill is the size of the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
The characters are going to come by multiple times before you're done.
Yeah, I feel like it's not like Chef Mickey's where they're trying to get through as many people as possible, because it's a smaller restaurant, Garden Grill, I think. And so you get more time, and the family style ones are better because you're not having to get yourself up to go to a buffet and come back, which I don't like, because that happened where I almost missed a character because I'm like, and then you're sitting there like, I kind of want to go back up, but Donald's at the next table, or Goofy or whoever. Like, okay, I gotta wait for Goofy, and then by the time Pluto's right behind him. Like, dang it, I can't get up.
Right. And so if you're on a budget, you're going to want to be selective. You want to get the best experience when it comes to, your character dining or your table service, period, what have you.
Right.
We have spoken about several different table service restaurants and so on.
Right.
That are they're high on our
list.
list.
Mobile order too from quick service.
Yes, mobile order. Yes, quick service. The better options, I think. Animal Kingdom, Satuli is going to be probably your best overall
for sure. Yankee Yeti's not bad.
Hollywood Studios, it's hard to really say.
Right.
I'm going to have to say, if you're wanting a good combination of quality and quick service, I'm probably going to go with the Commissary.
That's what I would say too. ABC.
Yeah.
Backlight Express isn't
ABC
terrible
Commissary
either.
Backlight Express isn't terrible, but it's very typical. If you're wanting the safe food, Backlight Express is good to go there. But if you're wanting a little bit of variety, I would say the Commissary.
Yep.
Let's see, what would you... Epcot, if I had...
Connections?
There's actually a lot of good options at Epcot's. Connections is one. Of course, Sunshine Seasons.
Yes. That's always
always a good option.
The best price one to me, because it's very similar to like a Pop Century food court. Or
best price, and you got options.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Got a lot of variety there.
It's hard to not find something somebody would eat there.
Right. Yorkshire is also a good option because they have good fish and chips.
And you can mobile order it right now. Get a pint and some fish and chips. And they're big too. I think it's a decent value.
The last couple of times I've had really good experiences at, what's the name of the quick service at Mexico now? I don't know why I can't think of the name of it, but the quick service basically at Mexico, it's outside. I've had some really good experiences there.
Yeah.
Including being there late at night and them giving me free food.
Right.
So,
and of course, Regal Eagle is pretty good too.
Regal Eagle, if you're going to do barbecue, that's one of the best places. And that's quick service as well. And if you're on a budget, you're probably going to do a lot more quick service, if at all.
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom's going to be a little tougher to find something that's actually good and do that. Columbia Harbor House, and it's hard to go wrong with Casey's, even though I know Casey's, it's hot dogs, but they're good hot dogs. What would be another quick service over there?
At Magic Kingdom?
That's probably it.
Cosmic Rays?
This really works.
I think Cosmic Rays is decent.
Cosmic Rays has improved.
Yeah. It's gotten better.
Yeah. It's gotten better.
What's the other one? You said Pecos Bills?
I think Pecos Bills is at the bottom of the list right now, I hate to say.
Yeah, I mean, I would still order from there.
Kind of fallen from grace.
But yeah, I just had to look this up because you mentioned the Yorkshire Fish Shop. How much do you think it is for fish and chips? And they're pretty.
Now,
you get 2 decent sized cod fillets or strips, and decent fries or chips, and it's good.
In the British
I'd
towns.
say 2 people could feed off of that and be pretty well fed. $13.49.
$13.49, and you could
that's not bad.
Potentially share
Yeah,
that
it's
one.
not terrible to me. I don't think that doesn't sound that bad for the amount of food you get. That's not bad at all.
In some places, the sides
are big
enough for a meal. Like I've always heard about I've never actually tried them, but I've always heard about the what is it, like the barbecue fries over at Flame Tree.
Mm-hmm.
I've always heard those are big enough that you could make a meal out of them.
Yeah, we've had them before. They're pretty big.
Yeah.
Pizza Fari, even? Pizza's not that... I mean, it's decent size.
Pizza at Disney, you aren't going to find anything outstanding, but it's all edible. So, and it's usually inexpensive in comparison.
When you think about, like, fast casual restaurants right now, they're not much different price-wise than Disney's quick service.
Fast casual.
Yeah, like say a Chipotle or a Cava or what's some of those kind of fast casual type
chicken salad chick.
Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, you're going to be paying
Chick-fil-A
somewhere in the neighborhood of $12 to $18 per person, something like that. That's about what Disney is. So it's not terrible.
So yeah, I mean, you're going to want to be, I say that the thing with food there is bring your own is one thing, but probably more so if you're going to, I don't know, if you're going to be staying at a resort or a property that has a fridge, obviously you could stock up on a couple of things.
Yeah.
And save money that way. And sometimes eat maybe dinner or breakfast, probably the most common. You're probably going to want to eat lunch in the parks.
Right.
Because it's going to be right around the middle of your part of your day most of the time. So it could be either or.
You could bring stuff for breakfast in your room, not like bacon and eggs, but granola bars or cereal.
You could even do that. We did that.
And then eat lunch at quick service. Come back to if you're staying at like All Stars, go to the food court or if you're staying at Pop food court for dinner, it's not going to be that bad.
One thing about having breakfast at Disney, it's going to be your cheapest meal most overall.
Usually,
I would say. Like, I know we did Ohana.
Yes.
This was 2 years ago now for breakfast.
No characters, right? But it's cheaper.
Right. I think it was for 4 adults and 3 kids. It was like $144 maybe, which is way less than the dinner.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's like more than half.
Yeah.
The dinner. The dinner was like $400 for that same group of people. Total.
Yeah, I'm looking to see now.
It's like 3 times as much for dinner.
They did just raise the price on breakfast, but it was less than this, but it's $50 now for an adult and $30 for kids. I think it used to be maybe $40 for adults and $25 for kids, or $45 and $25, but it's all you can eat. So
right. Most family styles are not going to be worth my dollar, just because I personally don't want to eat as much as I
can't eat that much anymore.
On top of everything else,
If you're young.
Another thing, if you do like to drink, we'll say, probably not going to be in your best interest you're going to want to be more selective with that.
Yeah, because it ain't cheap to drink anywhere in Disney property, that's for sure.
Yeah, alcohol is always, the thing is, you're going to want to be choosy because alcohol is going to be, the prices are going to be high, and depending on what you get, the amount of alcohol in it is probably not going to be that high either. Just saying.
I would say
a lot of the sweet ones they tend to skip
stay
on.
away from the novelty, and
there are a few exceptions.
Yeah, like the novelty stuff like Galaxy's Edge, the milk. If you get the one with booze, well, that is the worst ripoff, I think, of any drink on property.
Isn't the increase on it like $5 almost? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Let me see how much they're charging.
First of all, don't even drink that crap. I don't even know what's in it.
Don't drink any of it, but that's probably the worst per ounce the worst value. Baseline is actually probably the best on property. It was, it's hopefully still is, for the amount you get.
Right. But truth be told, I mean, if you just want to do it, you're probably going to be better off buying your own or bringing your own in a lot of those cases.
Do you know?
I'm not talking about end of the park, but I'm just talking about for yourself.
Do you know how much a blue and green milk cooler is right now with the alcohol? So the blue one comes with Bacardi rum on top, essentially, and the other one has a tequila. $16.50, and it's a tiny.
Wow. What's the regular?
$8.99. That's why no one's ever there.
Twice as much. Yeah, I know. That's why there's nobody in line.
Because it's like a
twice as much
8-ounce cup, maybe, if that. It's not big. $16.50, and they're basically putting a shot on top.
Yeah, you know how much profit they're making with booze?
That's insane.
That's ridiculous.
That's literally almost double the price for a shot of rum on top.
And this is not a health item to begin with.
It's terrible. That is the worst value of any alcoholic drink on property. Don't do it ever.
It is totally for suckers. Yeah. I'm just saying.
So that's why I said stay away from the niche or what do you call it? what did I say? Novelty stuff.
Specialty?
Novelty type.
Novelty,
Whatever.
that's the one.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
No.
There are some places that you can get something good, and it probably depends, like the place that actually have bartenders.
Yeah.
That would be different, but anyway.
There's like some of the quick services have decent price stuff. So, yeah.
Right.
If you really have to. I mean, I was going to say, at your own risk, BYOB, but Disney
Right.
does let you bring food in, which some places don't let you bring anything in. No food.
Right. They do let you bring some food.
So Disney will let you bring stuff, so take advantage of that.
You can bring water, of course. Another thing you can actually ask for
Clear liquids.
when we're talking about budgeting
Yep.
is you can actually ask for just a cup of water, and it's free.
Yeah.
And most of the
Quick service.
anywhere that service,
I always
quick service,
ask for
anywhere
at
that
least
serves.
a couple of cups of water every quick service. Even mobile order, just when you pick it up, just say, I need cups of water. And they'll give you how many you ask
They'll
for.
give it to you.
Some quick services have a water dispenser place too. And the water bottle refill places are around. Take advantage of that for free water, for sure.
Okay. I know we've gone a little
Yeah.
long, so I want to kind of get close to wrapping this
Move
up.
on.
But another thing,
Mhm.
we were talking about tickets
Yeah.
earlier. And if you're not buying directly from Disney, one of the better places, there are some other places you can do so-called discounts from. I'll say some of the ones that are kind of rip-offs. Sam's Club offers an option that's a discount, but after you put everything into the cart, when they add the fees and everything, it's not very much of a discount at all.
Mm.
The ones that have better discounts on tickets, there's really only one site that I've come across. I'm sure there's others, but the one site that I've come across that is a true discount on tickets, and don't get me wrong on this, there's not going to be astronomical savings
Very
on
minimal.
tickets no
Yeah.
matter what you do. But the best place to go is Undercover Tourist.
Okay.
They're the best place to go to get discounts on tickets. You're going to actually see a true discount there.
There's also, from what I heard, if you're driving down, you see these signs for like $40 tickets. I think
Yeah, those are rip-offs.
I think those are timeshare things.
Yeah, they're rip-offs because they're
You'll
going
be there
to,
for like 4 hours.
exactly.
be-
You're going to be roped in to some sort of commitment in order to get the
Yeah.
tickets at those prices.
If you are, it's not worth the effort
So-
for sure. But
Right.
if you're really trying
I'm
to
sure
get
it-
it cheap,
yeah.
that might. Don't
Yeah.
do it though.
I'm sure it still works that to this day.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of people that
Still do it.
fall for that.
But there's probably plenty of people that
So-
are just like, I'm gonna sit through this thing just so I can get my cheap tickets and force them
there you go,
force their
yeah.
hand at it.
Very good possibility.
But you just gotta put up with that, which it's the worst.
I remember I stayed at one of Westgate's properties before we did a cruise, and I had a dirt cheap, decent sized room that for 4 adults for one night only before going to the cruise. But
Yeah.
I got it through like Expedia or one of those. I can't remember which one. However, when I went there to check in for that night, they sent me to one of these places for going to some sort of presentation, and I just declined it pretty much. But it was probably one of the reasons that the room was as cheap as it was.
Mm, yeah.
Now that I think back
They
on it.
get you
so-
in there and then they try to lure you. They try to get you, hey, do you want this free, whatever? Or come
Yeah.
listen
And
to
I didn't
us.
have time for it anyway,
Yeah.
so it wasn't a lie.
Right.
Because we were going to the cruise ship first thing in the morning.
I imagine though, out of all the people they lure in, if they get 20% of them to sit down and do the thing, it's more than worth the price they're, discounting that
Yeah.
makes up for it over a lifetime of you paying them for timeshares. If 1 out of
that's
10
kind of a-
gets it, or whatever.
Yeah. That's kind of a warning in this topic.
Yeah. Well, I will say this about Disney. They aren't pushy. Disney's not pushy with DVC.
No, not really. No, not
Yeah,
at all.
It's nothing like what you deal with at other places. thankfully.
No, as a matter of fact, I received a phone call, I think, whenever I showed some interest in it. The representative was not pushy at all.
No, yeah, I've talked to him
Now,
before,
they
too.
did call.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did call a couple of times, I think.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it's not like they did it several times in a row. Or
They don't put you in this room with
Yeah.
other people where they're trying to pressure you and all that. They don't do
did whatever they could to keep you on the
Yeah.
line,
no, they
whatever.
don't do that.
Nothing
Not
like
as-
that.
Not as bad. I was going to mention a
Yeah.
couple things. I know
Go
Sam's
ahead.
Club. I'm sure Costco does it too, especially around the
gift
holidays.
cards.
Gift card discounts. Yeah, and it's not
Yeah.
great, but I think you can get like
Target, too.
you can get like a $500 gift card for like $480 or something, or a $250 for like $237 or something like that. You save a few bucks per gift card, but it adds up, I guess.
One thing,
you know,
yeah. One thing about the Target ones, you're going to get the best possible price if you're qualified for their credit card.
I think you get 5% off any gift card if you have the Target card or whatever, which 5%
On top of that.
yeah, but
Yeah.
still, it's something.
But if you already have a Sam's Club membership, you can really just, when those are on sale, so to speak, you can just buy
Yeah.
those.
And that's why I feel like every Christmas they have the 500 one for like, I think it's like $485
least $20
or $480, something like that. You
Yeah,
get,
at least $20 to $25
Yeah.
off.
which is not. I mean, again, if you pay for your $4,000 trip, you save $100 or a couple of $100 maybe at the most, but something,
Well, even if you take it and just spend it on food.
It's a meal for one person every gift card, something like that. So
Yeah.
whatever, it's not much, but
Or
it's
spend
something.
it on gifts.
The other thing I was gonna
Merchandise.
say is if you have any friends who are APs, go with them and they can get you 20% off merch.
Yeah,
or
can help you
if
out.
you know anybody who lives there who's an AP, like, hey, can I join you at Epcot for a day and then just buy all your merch? Get 20% off.
Or better yet, do you have cast member friends?
Yeah, even better if you do, But anybody who potentially has a discount, DVC members, if you know anybody, they can
Right, of some
do
kind.
something. Some restaurants
help you out.
merch, stuff like that.
Dude, I wonder if that would work. Do you have to be present in order for like checking out for merchandise to work? I
Yeah,
wonder if
so
I could,
they're getting way more strict on that now. Where so I did it with our friends, and there was one person who let my friend pay for it while I was standing there with them, but they're like, the person who has the name on their ticket has to be the person that pays. So basically, they would just give me their credit card and say, "Go buy this stuff for us." So
in this, they're not really preventing anything in this day and
Right.
age, though, with Venmo and Cash
yeah,
App
exactly.
and what
So
have you.
that's the other thing we did too. Is I would just buy stuff and they would just pay me back.
Cash App it to you,
They would just send
Right.
me the money.
Zelle,
But
whatever.
after a while, they were just like, "Here's my phone, go pay for it," or "Here's my credit card, just buy the stuff." So
We can literally transfer money to someone instantly, is my
Exactly.
point, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter.
it's like I'm like, okay, why? But it's like, come on, guys, it's 20%. It's not like you're anyway. But yes,
You're not giving them something grand.
but they physically have to be there with you for it to really work. So
Right. I do like the fact, now, of course, I don't have the AP currently, but when I did, I do like the fact that you could do everything in the app, like shop, and it just automatically included it.
yeah,
It
like
automatically
if you do
recognized
mobile
your AP.
checkout, it already knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll take the discount for you. That's cool. I do like that.
Yeah. Automatically recognizes you as AP.
Right.
So I was gonna say another thing, if you don't mind dealing with the watermark, you can use PhotoPass and not buy the package.
That's true. I mean, honestly, it's going to be
Yeah.
low res, but there are sites that will remove watermarks from pictures. I mean, I don't recommend, necessarily doing that, but your pictures would be pretty low res, but yeah, you can remove watermarks. It's not that hard. Or like if you have an AP friend them on the app, and they will be, connect with them, and they'll be able to download the pictures for you. That's probably one of the biggest savings you do, is you don't have to buy a memory maker if you have AP, annual pass holder friends. Connect with them on the app, and they'll let them download the pictures for you.
One more quick thing regarding the food. If you see items on the kids menu that you think you like or want to eat, they do not care. You can buy it for yourself.
That's especially if you mobile
Especially
order.
at quick
Yeah,
serve.
if you mobile order too,
Yeah,
like
especially mobile order.
you buy all the kids' meals you want.
No one knows the difference.
Right, that's true.
So that would be another way to save on money.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they closed the gap a lot more than it once was.
That's true. But it is some savings.
Yeah, certain family dining is totally not worth it to bring kids to, just so you know.
Yeah.
Totally not worth it. There's only a handful. I probably have less than I can count on one hand that are worth actually paying for if you have young kids. Garden Grill is one of them. For, if you pay for, honestly, I don't think, even though it's good, don't get me wrong, but I don't think the value is there anymore for Ohana dinner. I really don't, especially with the amount of food that they give you. It's just way too much.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I have a few really quick ones I was going to throw in that are
Go
just
ahead.
like, say you are saving money on park tickets, but you have an extra day. There's plenty of free stuff that you can do. You can resort hop. You can go to Disney Springs. Of course, you're going to spend money there.
That could cost you money.
It's free to go to Disney Springs, but there is some stuff to do there that you don't have to pay money for. Some of the resorts you could enjoy some of the amenities they have without having to pay.
I still only think of food when I think of Disney Springs.
Right. I was gonna say the mini golf. Sometimes you can get a voucher for free mini golf, depending on, I forgot how you get it now, but there are ways to do that.
Right.
Stuff like that. So if you don't have a park day, there are some free stuff to do.
There's quite a few things at the resort, especially if you're at the
there's
deluxe one.
arcades at a lot of the values and stuff. So there's stuff you can do. Of course, it's some more money, but
arcades cost more money,
but it's not a ton necessarily. This isn't necessarily saving money, but it could save you hassle if you use a travel agent. You don't normally pay them anymore because they usually get paid commission.
Yeah, there's no extra cost for most.
So if it's overwhelming, you can get a travel agent to do a lot of the stuff for you, book the hotel and parks and things like that to help you plan. I think that was it. I mean, I was going to say Disney does have the free transportation if you fly, but again, the free transportation to and from the airport doesn't exist anymore. So
this is true.
But they do have free transportation, but I don't recommend using it most of the time.
There's free transportation?
Well, buses. I'm talking about not from the airport, but once you're there.
Oh, okay. I was like, I can't think of any that's free from the airport.
Not from the airport.
Some that's less expensive.
Yeah. Price that stuff out. If you're renting a car or if you're driving your own, you can save a lot of money by driving and time. Time is money by driving your own car and stuff. I would say something like touring plans could be useful for a pretty small fee, a yearly fee, to help you navigate the parks if you're not as familiar with it. If you're not going to buy Genie, that's one way you can help save time and stuff like that. So a small investment for, what you can get with it. I still use it. I mean, I still pay for the yearly thing currently.
Oh, I do too.
It can still be beneficial in some ways. Reservation finder. Anyway.
Most definitely. All right. So, if you have more things you would like to look up, I guess, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, not Twitter, X, and Instagram. That is all at TWTM Podcast. We also have a Spreadshirt store in which you can find your exclusive TWTM merchandise. That is shop.spreadshirt.com/TWTM Podcast. And we also have a YouTube channel in which I have a few videos out there. You can go check that out. Where can you find that and links to everything else, Adam?
our website, which is travelingwiththemouse.com. We also have email address, podcast@travelingwiththemouse.com. And we do have a travel agent friend if you want to use that to help book your next Disney trip. Her info is also on our website.
So for Adam, my name is John. This has been Travel with the Mouse, and we hope you will join us on our next trip.
On a budget.
On a budget. If you have to. If you must, which, good Lord, I mean, the way prices are.